We got the Mad South football team here with us, talking about some of these guys going to play football at the next level. We've got the Mad South wrestling team coming on the show tonight, and Estill County football college signees as well. It's a big show tonight, live at Jack Burford Chevrolet. This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Sports fans, the wait is over. For the next hour, sit back and enjoy the ride on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Share your thoughts and opinions on the live feed on WBON TV. And stay tuned for everything you need to know about your local sports teams, college and pro sports as well. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show is served up by Buffalo Wild Wings and brought to you in part by the law office of Patrick O'Neill. Now, here are your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Live at Jack Burford Chevrolet here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, served up by Buffalo Wild Wings. And we are here with the Madison Southern football team. Some of these guys are going to be playing football at the next level. And, Coach, I saw your wife make this Facebook post that Mad South football has sent 33 kids off to college to play football in the past 9 years.
Yes, sir.
That is a huge number in the last 9 years, and you've had some good ones come through this program. But talk about these guys that are here with us today.
No, it's a great testament to the work that these boys have put in, and these guys have poured into this program, and they deserve an opportunity if they want it. So I'm really proud of them and excited for them, and look forward to going to see them play.
That post sounds like a Coach Cal post. Like, let's boost up the NBA. Let's boost up, and that's exactly what a coach does. You're proud of these players.
Well, and the thing that most don't realize is, regardless of the size of the school, if you factor all their scholarship money in over a 4-year period, all 33 of those kids, it's $2.4 million that stays into our community.
No one thinks of it like that.
$2.4 million. Boom.
It's impressive.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's like a drop the mic kind of number.
It's a crazy number. So it really does pay off. And it's not all athletics. It's a combination of athletics, academic. It's all of it. But it's all been earned by what they've done in their 4-year process.
Right.
So it counts.
Well, you look at the seasons you got. I mean, these guys played in the state championship game. They made it real far this year. You had that deep run again this year, too. So I think it just goes to show where your program is right now as well, that you have so many guys. And you've got some guys coming up that are going to be playing eventually on Saturdays as well.
We do. We've become a regular stop. I used to try to, when I was first at Southern, I'd try to, share everybody when coaches are coming in, but too many coaches come through now. It'd be a job in itself sharing every day when coaches are in and when they're calling. I mean, we're definitely a revolving door from NAI Division III all the way up to Division I now. If our kids are good enough to play, they're going to get looked at our school now.
Sounds like you need an
Well,
assistant.
have you been able to build
you
those?
need an assistant.
Pat Brock does a lot of this for me with people coming in the front office.
What do you have that relationship with the college coaches now? That do you have to call them, or do they just know to?
It's a combination, and I've kind of got a process down. So I just sent out our list of our 2021, 2022. I just sent out our list of all their information here in January. I make a list. I give all their information, all their film. And I send it out to about 200 different schools.
Wow.
And then I follow up with phone calls. And coaches move a lot.
Yeah.
So I got to find out who's changed jobs, where guys are. And then also I have some guys that I coached with in college still that they'll look at them and they'll say, hey, I don't think this is a Division I player, but I got some buddies in Division II. Let me send their film to them. So I would say, these guys sitting here, their film's been viewed by 300 coaches at least once over the span of January of last year until this year.
Well, one guy that's not with us tonight, Drake Jackson, Dane Jackson. Drake was his older brother.
Yeah, Drake's not here either, but Dane. Yeah.
But Dane is signed to play at North Texas, right? He's already down there?
Yeah, he graduated early and signed in December. And he just called me today, said he did the hardest running workout of his life today. But no, he's doing really well. So he'll be in spring ball with them. Going to try to go see him in spring ball this year.
And then,
keep going.
You're good. You're good.
What do you think a college coach, what do you think they're most looking for when they see these highlight reels? Because they're seeing thousands of kids.
And that's the hard thing about when you're talking to kids and parents about recruiting. Like, everybody wants something different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say just this or that. I mean, I'll talk to one coach that'll say Tobias is too small. I'll talk to another coach to say he fits our slot position perfectly. And one will say Dawson's not tall enough to play line for us. The other one said he's our prototypical center. It just depends.
Right.
That's why it's key to get their information to everybody, to a wide variety, because one program wants them and one program they don't fit. It just
It's got to be the right
it's got
fit.
to be the right fit for the
Right.
kid and their talent set. Absolutely.
Well, speaking to that, let's start with Daniel. Let's just go down the line, guys, and we'll have each one of you tell where you're going to go play college football at. Okay. So you start us off.
I'm Daniel Cobb. I'm going to Lindsey Wilson.
All right, Dawson.
I'm Dawson Gabbard. I'm going to Georgetown College.
And Baylor is signing tomorrow at 11 a.m., right?
Yeah, I'm signing tomorrow at 11 to go continue my career at Defiance College.
All right, and Tobias.
I signed last week to play for Center College in Danville.
There you go.
Now, a lot of people may not know where Defiance is, and I found this out last week.
Defiance is in like northwestern Ohio. It's like
It's-
a 4.5 hour, five-hour drive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Well, talk about, so what, you're signing tomorrow. Talk about Defiance and kind of what led you to want to sign with them.
Defiance was really like one of the first schools that actually kind of showed interest in me. Being a kicker, it's tough to get like your recruiting process started because every school already has maybe 2 or 3 kickers in their portfolio, you know. So finding a school that fits what I want to do, because I was looking for like a smaller class size also, and Defiance is really like a smaller school out of town. That really I'm not a number in their system. I'm an actual person who was going to play football for them.
Coach, I mean, Baylor had an amazing career with you. All broke a record, right? As far as
he owns all the kicking records except one. Coach Colbert, who coached him, has
Yeah.
the longest field goal.
Yeah.
still.
Okay.
So, but he owns the rest of them.
But it's all for my quarterback and my offense leading the touchdowns.
love that.
Boom.
Well, you've had some pretty
That's
good
special.
offensive players that have helped you
Yeah.
get down the field for those extra points. and
Landon
those field goals,
Stacy,
right? Yeah.
Tobias, Hunter Richardson, all the big names that go through Southern led me to that.
Carter Smith.
Carter
he's a
Smith,
center.
yeah.
Carter had a lot of touchdowns. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I mean, and you've been as your sophomore? Is that when you started kicking as a
Yeah,
starter?
sophomore year when we went to state. I hate to say it, but it's kind of reason why we went to state. Having a new kicker.
He had a lot of points, man.
Now, who was before him? Was it the girl, Sipple? Or was that
we
two
had,
before you?
We had
Was it
a
Watts?
German kid.
That's
The year
right.
before me.
That's right.
What was his name? Eustace.
Yeah, so Justice
Eustace.
kicked, and then Chesney, and then
If I remember
Harrison
correctly,
Watson.
y'all might have called him a different name every week because no one could actually get his name
Pronounce it
right.
right.
Is that right? No one could pronounce it.
Everybody's usually called him Justice because it was Justus, so it was
Yeah.
really easy for us. But yeah.
Well, when Baylor walked in, I knew Tobias, knew Dawson, knew Daniel. Baylor walked in, I'm like, that is not what I expected Baylor Willis to look like. I'd never seen him without his helmet on before.
Right.
And he walked in, he's got the long hair, he's got the mustache, It was impressive. And then he got the Colts hoodie on. So he takes a
Yeah.
beating in that division. Being
Listen,
a
I
Colts
feel
fan,
that way
so.
all the time unless I'm on Twitter and checking them
Yeah.
out because I see them down on the field. They've all got
Yeah.
their helmets and pads. They look completely different, and I'm admiring his hair.
Yeah,
Hey, it's good.
Well, he said he was a Tresemme ooh la la kind of guy. Whenever he,
I think you said
I
that.
did say that. Well, let's talk to Dawson.
Yeah.
So, Dawson, you're going to be playing football at Georgetown, and talk about the process that went into you going there, and what made you want to choose Georgetown.
There was a handful of schools that recruited me, and I went to campus after campus, and then once I stepped foot on Georgetown, I just knew it wasn't really anything to it. It just kind of hit me. It's like I want to be here. This is where I plan on being. I can see myself here for 4 years playing football. So.
Well, Coach, you've got 3 guys from your offensive line that are leaving.
Yeah.
And you got quarterback's a big part of what you do, but
Yeah.
you got 3 of your
Big holes.
guys creating the holes for these running backs and AJ Jones and all these guys, and it's going to be hard to replace these 3 guys, and that's one of your big ones.
Well, you can't replace them. You just have to find the next guy that's going to do his best at his job. We're going to be different. We're not going to be 300 pounds across the front this next year, but we move well. I think we'll be smaller, more athletic. So that's my job, is to figure out what they do well and get them in the right spots. But Dawson's recruiting was wild, all over the place, and where he was recruited by some Division I schools early on. They wanted him to be a little bit taller. Their height is everything with O-line
Yeah.
and D-line and receivers. But as the year went on, like his play, if you were to pull film of the last, from playoffs across the state, you'll be hard pressed to find a big guy that played as well in the playoffs as he did. He played outstanding.
Now, was Dawson the one that recovered the fumble in the Northborough
He
game?
is,
right?
yeah, he'll tell you
so
that.
was that the
Yeah.
biggest play of your
And
career?
that's a
You look
big
back on
smile.
that?
Yeah, that's one of them for sure.
Okay.
Just, I guess within the environment, that had to be one of them.
Well, going off the subject of football, let's talk about this Barstool thing that you guys are doing. So it's the Mad South Barstool. Talk about that real quick.
It was me, Daniel, and then 3 more of our buddies kind of got together and wanted to do something just to keep up with sports, kind of just as a joke at first. So we made like a 4-minute video, like 2 videos, like 4 minutes apiece, and put it out there just kind of talking about what's going on, like commitments, scores, and then next thing you know, it just kind of blew up in the school and everyone enjoyed it. So
where do you go to find? I mean, do y'all still do it? Do you still do the updates? Where do y'all go to find that stuff at?
So we're usually at like every game. But you'll see one of us, if not all of us, at every game. But other than that, it's kind of we just keep up with coaches or their Twitters and we're just kind of relaying the message of everything else. So
okay. Well, Daniel, let's talk to you. We're going to Lindsey Wilson and talk about your recruiting process and what led you to go sign with them.
Well, I picked up a lot of offers, all around Kentucky. I visited Lindsey Wilson the most, and I liked it the most, honestly. They win a lot. They've been nationally ranked, I think 6 or 7 years in a row now. Academically, it's nice. They have a nursing program. It's good.
Is that kind of what you want to get into as far as your major go? Okay.
My mom's a nurse, and a lot of people in my family are in that field, so I would just like to go that way. So,
will you remember us when we're old and we need health care?
For sure.
I feel like I'm already old sometimes.
He may be our nurse.
Well, Coach, another one of your offensive linemen you're going to have to, as you said, not replace, but find the next guy up. Talk about what helped Daniel stick out for you guys.
Something that happened unique with both these guys is Daniel played primarily D-line this year. His junior year, he played O-line. This year, he played mostly D-line. And Dawson played mostly O-line. As we hit Boyle at the end of the season, I said, all right, we're about to hit the playoffs. It's time. You guys need to be on the field. And we were trying to build depth is why we didn't play them both ways early on. But throughout the playoffs, these guys didn't leave the field much at all. And I thought they did a fantastic job of playing both sides of the ball throughout the playoffs. I think they had a big deal. I think it was a big part of why we played so well late, because these guys were on the field along with Dane all the time.
Well, so you guys are doing this Barstool thing. I mean, do you think you might have a future in some media later on too? I mean, sound like you guys know what you're doing.
They're coming
We're
after
going to put
your
on the
job.
work Friday night, Samantha. I've already talked about it.
The Barstool's pretty good.
Yeah.
though.
So
I would like to, honestly. It would be a fun job, honestly.
yeah.
It would be.
It's fun to get to
It
put up
looks
with a crazy co-host and it just gets sometimes. But we won't get into that. Well, this guy I want to talk to. So I've talked to Tobias several times. I've seen him at B-Dubs. He's been there before, and it's hard pressed to say. So I've been doing these games for
Years.
6. I think my first year here was Damien's senior year. I actually did Southern football, and then whenever all the WBO win stuff happened, I got moved over to Central. But to say that Tobias is probably one of my favorite players to watch play football would be an understatement, because this guy throwing it, running it, I mean, he seems to always make big plays. And the connection you had with Waller Smith this year was incredible. It seemed like you could just close your eyes and throw it up, and that guy would make a catch for you. But talk about your process and now where you're going to end up playing college football at.
My recruiting process was crazy. We bounced around to a lot of schools and visited a ton of schools, and Center's a college that put a lot into me. The first time they showed interest in me was my sophomore year, and I was playing corner at a scrimmage 7-on-7, and
That was at Danville, wasn't it?
yeah, it was
I remember
Danville.
that.
Yeah, I was chirping out there a little bit, talking a little bit to me.
Well, you do have a certain swagger about you that I think coaches likes. I mean, you got to have that confidence, and especially at the quarterback position. So at center, I mean, I know some colleges might have wanted you to change position at center. Will you be playing quarterback? Have they talked to you about that?
They're talking to me at running back and slot receiver.
Okay.
There's not really been anything set in stone yet, but they're just gonna have me. It's like coming in as an athlete position, just to see where I fit and see where I can just contribute best to the team. But we looked at a lot of schools and we talked to a lot of schools, and at the end they ended up putting a lot of money into me, and it's really personal. I did an overnight there, and they make me feel like I'm at home, and I feel like I'm at home there, and I don't think I'll be homesick one time while I'm down there, because they just open up their arms to me, and it's just been
What is
Great.
Center? Maybe 2 hours away? Is it?
No, it's 35 minutes.
Oh, so you're right down the road.
Yeah,
then. Okay.
so, yeah.
It's Danville, right?
Yeah, and so
that's not that
having
far.
Carter
Yeah.
Smith there, did that kind of
Yeah, yeah,
have you talked to him any about how the school and the football team kind of how they are?
Yeah, he was my host on my overnight, and I got to talk to, spend time with the whole team, spend time on campus. They had a basketball game that night, so just got to get the full feel for the school. And biggest thing Carter always gives me advice on is like stay in the books. They call it the Harvard of the South. They got a lot of people flunk out of that college. It's not a joke. So I gotta learn how to study and start reading or something.
Did you hear that? Learn how to study.
Yeah, listen, I went to 4 different colleges for a reason, Samantha. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Listen, though, I think what's so special about being an athlete is that you guys are going to get your tutors and special.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to have access to things that your normal students
That's a
won't.
big thing a lot of people miss in the recruiting process is, you put in time like a job,
Right.
but you get a lot of advantages to help you academically
Right.
be more prepared.
The student to teacher ratio at center's like 11-1 or something like that. All the professors they know their students personally, and like the tutors are there to help the football players also. Like the
Right.
football players get a good what's the word I'm looking for?
Good
Reputation.
okay,
Good
there
reputation,
you
and they get a lot of help.
Well, you know what else that means? If the teacher knows your name, that means
Yeah.
you can't skip class.
Oh, I can't mess up. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
There's
listen,
no skipping.
all 4 of these guys, you can tell they eat, sleep, they breathe Madison Southern.
I agree.
So talk about your relationship with Coach Tobias. I mean, you've been.
They're sharing water bottles.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's,
talk about your relationship with Coach Clark and kind of how hard it's going to be not being able to play for him next year.
The whole coaching staff brought me in like freshman year, and everybody kind of knows like where I come from, my background and stuff like that. So everybody was just staying on me, and Coach Clark was one of those guys that just stayed on me, even though I didn't like it sometimes. We argued sometimes, and it was just me just not knowing yet, and I just didn't get it, and I finally figured the process out. And once I figured the process out, like everything just rolled since then. And he's taught me a lot, and all the coaches have taught me a lot to just be able to handle things and be self-disciplined about, like getting to class, getting up, getting to, like, for example, getting to first period at 7 in the morning, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Being on time.
And listen, that is a hard thing to do for some kids that just, it's not just about playing football. You could be the best player out there, but if you don't have the attitude that these kids have or the desire to want to learn or want to be a better athlete than what you already are, they're going to play college football. But it's more about what they do off the field that makes them a student athlete, Coach. And I think you can attest to all these guys. It's not just what they do on the field that's getting them scholarships.
And I think that's because of his leadership and all the coach leadership.
Yeah, I feel like all the guys, we all have a reason on why we wanted to make it to college, and we all had we call it our why. That's what we always talked about. What's your why, and I think we all knew what our why was. We just needed that guidance to get us there. You know what I'm saying? So it was just.
And that's a hard process because he mentioned it too. He said, I didn't always know why you made me do these certain things. Like, I mean, they'll tell you right away, like, the minute a kid comes to me and says, I want to play college football, their situation's going to be different.
It's got to change.
I've got to hold them to a higher standard. And I tell the parents the same thing. If you want this, I can't treat you like a normal high school athlete. You have to be held to a higher standard because if not, then I'm not helping you get to where you want to go. I'm not doing my job. And they don't always like that. But when they finally get to school and Dane Jackson calls and he says, I can handle this because of what we did, and they're going to realize real quick they've been through it. They just don't know they've been through it yet.
Before we let you guys go, you got any good Coach Clark stories you can tell us that are on air worthy? You got any good ones?
He's got the mic.
Dan, you got one? You got one? Give it to Baylor. Let's see.
Jeez, here we go.
This ought to be good.
It was.
Sure, this is radio edited.
That's right.
It will last on social media.
Oh yes, It was during our summer workouts. We do these things called death rolls. It's our punishment, but like
punishment.
This is our punishment. If we, and then so if we do something wrong, we're late on time or something, we'll death roll across the field and back. So we made a wager with Coach Clark over here. So I can't remember what the wager was, but Coach Clark had to do death rolls.
It was about if you guys made your time on a run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you made it, and he had to death roll.
Yeah, and we made our time, and Coach Clark went down and back for one, and he's like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. I can't handle
I
it.
don't spin
I
well.
got a good
I'm gonna
story.
throw up. Okay.
I don't spin
I don't
well.
spin either.
No, but I said that day, I told him, I said, if I ever death roll you again, you're in really hot water, because I got up and I was like,
You know what? It
I'm
feels
not
like?
making anybody do this again unless this is like serious, legit.
Okay.
Rolling's not fun.
Well, that's interesting. That's a good story then, Samantha.
That is a good. Who else? There's
I
got to
got
be
one.
more.
I got a good one. I got a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
My sophomore year, I got my science teacher to write me a fake detention slip, and April Fool's ended up being that weekend or something. It wasn't that day, so we were going on a break or something. So I was just going to get him early, and so anyway, my science teacher, she wrote me a fake detention slip saying that I was out in the parking lot smoking cigarettes with upperclassmen.
He got me.
So
They turned it into you.
He turned it into me. A teacher signed it.
I played it off real good, and I told him, I was like, yeah, they sent me down to you that you could deal with it, so they didn't have to deal with it, and I wouldn't get in trouble. Whatever. At the very bottom of it, it said April Fool's Day.
I didn't get to the bottom of it.
He didn't get to the bottom, but he started reading on it, and he's like, who you out there smoking with? Who are the upperclassmen? Who are they? And I was like, I'm not telling you. And I was just like, I'm not.
I don't see how you
He
get a
was
straight
ready
face.
to kill somebody.
I was
was,
actually
dude.
really calm until he wouldn't tell me who he was with.
I was like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not telling nobody.
How
And
do you
I'm
keep a straight
ratting.
face? Like, I can't do that.
know.
I would have
Not
been
gonna be the
laughing.
I
guy.
started to get real hot when he wouldn't tell me
So,
who.
like, yeah, coach, I ain't ratting on nobody. But anyway,
And he's like, just read the rest of it. I'm like, I don't need to read it. I started getting, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
so they finally read it, and then he yelled at me. He told me he didn't want to see me the rest of the day.
That was a good
Well,
one.
that is a good one.
That was a
Okay.
really good
Yeah, it was
one.
a good one.
All right. Well, you got one more. We got time for one more. Dawson, you got one?
Not necessarily a story, but I play the music in the weight room, and he's not the biggest fan of our music,
Okay.
but
You ever take a drill to your head and it's like the same sound
He's
all the time?
disrespecting the
I
baby.
get that. I get that.
He's disrespecting the
I've heard of
baby.
that guy before, but I have never heard one of his
Oh.
songs. Yeah.
you should. It's-
Okay.
should.
Is it pretty good?
But Coach Clark here can dance.
Oh, he can. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no one's seen it, but he can break it down just a little bit.
Occasionally in the weight room.
Is he on
all-
TikTok? Any? Is it? We get a
No,
TikTok.
no, we don't do
Is that
that.
an app
Okay.
or something?
No,
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
the
do that.
TikTok,
big
it's the
thing
dance
now, yeah.
app.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
They know.
I figured I'd tell you all that he can dance. If you
Okay.
ever get
Well, I
on
like
video.
that. We need to get a video of him dancing. If you guys can make that happen, we will.
I
have
know.
some
I don't
fun
know if
with
it's
it.
radio or TV worthy. He'd be breaking it down. He'd be tooting that thing up.
Well, listen, guys. You guys, good luck this as you continue your football career. Good luck, and if you guys, when you're ready to get a job, holler at us, all right? Because we're going to need some help. Maybe we
Yeah,
might get rid of
good luck,
Samantha and
you
bring you
guys.
on.
Yeah, but
or
let's
something.
wait for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could drop
Let's
out.
do this later.
Wait till the football's over
Let's
with.
get
And
to
then,
the
Yeah.
next phase.
then whenever you're, even if it's 20 years down the road, then holler back at us. And if
Yeah.
we're still here, I'd love to have you guys come on and be a part of WBO.
I know he's got you guys well prepared. You guys know the next 4 years won't be easy. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
It's going to be great.
Appreciate
And
it.
we're going to look forward to following you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll take a commercial break and come back. We are live at Jack Burford Chevrolet. New Chevrolets. It's the perfect time of year. Bring that tax return in to Jack Burford Chevrolet. Get you a new Chevy here at Jack Burford. You can check out their
He
entire
always wants
inventory.
to drive mine. I won't let him.
Yeah. Don't ride with her, though, either, by the way. We'll come back in a few moments. We are live at Jack Burford on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Come on.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too. Remember, everyone's important, so buckle up to and from the ball game. Come on, let's go.
So you guys have shown us a lot of love on Facebook and of course our website at WBONTV.com. So we're going to let you in on a little secret, our YouTube channel. It's where all the local stories are posted first for news, and you can even catch the live stream of any of your local high school sports on there as well. Be sure to subscribe as well as click on the little bell for notifications. For when we post a video go live, you'll be the first to know. And don't be afraid to share and like a video. It really helps us out here at the studio to bring you the best in local news. And of course on Facebook, hit the See First button so we come up first when you're scrolling through your timeline.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
We are live at Jack Burford Chevrolet. Samantha Burford, Michael Watkins. We are awaiting your arrival of the Mad South wrestling team.
But you know what? We can talk basketball.
We can. Hey, we got a big week next week, Samantha. So
I'm looking forward to it.
We have got on Monday. We've got 2 games here in Richmond. We'll have Madison Central Southern girls first, then the boys will follow,
and then typically 7:30.
Yeah, it'd probably be 6:40 or 7:45, 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
depending on how long that
so
first
many
game
time
is.
in between the games. So
yeah, I think there's a 20-minute tip or a 20-minute interval between each game. So Coach Bertrand said they are here, so they're about to walk in. We'll get the wrestling team on the show.
Worked out good timing.
But then we have on Monday we also have the Estill County girls game as well. Then on Tuesday we'll have the boys over in the Estill County District 56. We'll have both Estill County versus Lee County, and then Powell and Owsley. All of our coverage of the 56 district tournament will be on 100.7 The Coyote. Every single district tournament game over here in the 44th, Central versus Southern, girls and boys, Model versus Berea girls and boys, and the district championship games on Friday. All of those games can be watched here on WBON TV. If you're watching the sports show, you can watch the games next week here on WBON TV or listen live on 106.7 The Pinnacle and on WEKY. So the Southern wrestling team is here. We will take one more commercial break. Whenever we'll get them set up here on the show with us, and then we'll come right back. We are live at Jack Burford Chevrolet here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too. Remember, everyone's important, so buckle up to and from the ball game. Come on, let's go.
So you guys have shown us a lot of love on Facebook and, of course, our website at WBONTV.com. So we're going to let you in on a little secret, our YouTube channel. It's where all the local stories are posted first for news, and you can even catch the live stream of any of your local high school sports on there as well. Be sure to subscribe, as well as clicking on the little bell for notifications. For when we post a video go live, you'll be the first to know. And don't be afraid to share and like a video. It really helps us out here at the studio to bring you the best in local news. And of course on Facebook, hit the See First button so we come up first when you're scrolling through your timeline.
Back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, we are joined now by the Madison Southern Wrestling Eagles. And Coach, really good year for you all. You've had, coming off the state tournament weekend, you had some some wrestlers competing in that as well. So talk about kind of how this weekend went for you all and what you saw out of your team.
Well, this year we brought in 4 to the state tournament, one of them being Amelia, who's a junior, and our first female to qualify for state, which was really exciting.
Look, I just want to give you like a round of applause for that. That's impressive.
I mean, I think there was a total of 3 that qualified for state this year with the females, and that's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. So whenever you have Amelia, like, how does she practice or train? Does she just compete with the guys?
Absolutely. I mean, she gets wore out just as much as the other guys during practice. We don't treat her any different than the guys. So, I mean, she goes through the same process as everybody else, which I honestly feel that makes her a lot tougher to when she goes in to wrestle the ladies. So it makes it a lot easier for her, strength-wise and some talent. Not saying that all the ladies don't have the talent that the guys do, because a lot of them really do. Right. It's funny because you almost want to take the ladies over some of the guys that you see in tournaments. You're just shaking your head going, wow, that's unbelievable.
And it's done by weight class, just as the men.
Yeah, they're not going. I mean, they might wrestle during practices, maybe 1 or 2 weight classes up just to get a different feel for the strength and a different skill level. So, yeah.
So you competed in the 113 pounds and finished 4th in the 106 pounds. Is that right? Grab your mic here and me. We'll talk to you. So talk about how that works and just the process of doing all that. And so how does it work with you competing in 2 different classes?
Well, I normally wrestle 106, but on the girls' state, I had a better competition going 113, so that's why I went at 113.
So, Coach, as far as the preparation goes, is there any kind of different preparation to prepare her for the different class? Or
No, absolutely not. I mean, she's getting a different feel for different weight classes and in the wrestling room. So, I mean, nothing would change for that. It's just getting to see different competitors than she would normally see. We felt that she would do a lot better in the 113 weight class because there's a young lady by Ryle Messerly. She is ranked nationally, and she's just she's a stud. So we just felt like in order for her to get a better chance of getting the state title, we bumped her up to the 113 title, and that's exactly what she did.
So I want to know. Oh, keep going. Sorry, I thought you were done.
I'm done.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're okay.
I thought you were done. I really want to know how you got into this sport. I mean, such a male-dominated sport. It's kind of like when Madison Southern had the female kicker. It's just so male-dominated. Yeah. So tell us.
My brother wrestled. And so I had seen the sport before, and then actually one of my friends wanted to wrestle, so she talked to me for like a week and tried to get me to do it, and finally I did it, and then she quit about a week into it, and I just kept going with it, and I ended up really liking it.
And at practice, I mean, I guess you have to challenge the men, right? Because that's who you have to practice against.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who else is there to practice against?
Well, whenever you're practicing or training with these guys, is there any kind of ego? I mean, I know how guys can be. I know how
Oh yeah, like if she takes down another.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, have you had to say, listen, this is how it is? Have you had to kind of get anybody and pin them down and?
No, they usually treat me like.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. That's what you want, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you don't get up and after you thumped them and like, look what I did.
Make them feel bad.
They already. The wrestlers in the room already know what she brings to the table, so there's really none of that at all.
There's a respect there for her, and that's the big thing.
That's what you and I would do.
Yeah.
We would be like, yeah.
We'd probably trash talk.
You lay there.
Yeah. They do sometimes.
So you and your brother are 2 of the coaches, right? So talk about how that goes and how you and him work together and the rest of your coaching staff.
This is my 10th year, and I brought him in about our 2nd or 3rd year into it, and I felt that, we have the same mindset on what we expect or what we want in a program. We went to the same high school and the same college and wrestled, so I mean it was all like it was a no-brainer, and know the amount of respect that the coaches got to give to the kids and the work ethic and all the work that needed to be put in. So I mean it was a lot less work for me knowing that certain things are already taken care of by him being there. And we got a couple of other coaches that really, Colton Mott and Rick Kelly, they've been fantastic. I mean, any of those guys can get a head coaching job anywhere in the state. I feel that they've done an extremely great job with the kids.
Well, you had 4 wrestlers go to the state tournament, right? So you had Rocky and Amelia. You also had Chris Begley and Stephen Whitehead. So talk about how that felt having 4 wrestlers go to compete for a state championship.
Well, I was truly excited. I mean, as young as they are, she's the veteran of the group. I mean, being the junior with a freshman, 2 freshmen, and a sophomore, you're going, okay, let's see what these guys can do. And they went in there, they all won at least 1 match. So, I mean, that was, got the butterflies out and ready to rock and roll on the next round. And I was so proud of them. I mean, I was on cloud 9 yelling. Some of the matches, my coaches were coaching. I was up in the stands watching. And I was freaking out. So, I mean, it was awesome to watch them highly compete against the best guys in the state, and being freshmen and sophomores and winning and competing with some of those guys is just unbelievable. And next couple of years, I'm telling you what, look out. And Rocky placing 8th in the state, which is one of his absolutely. That was one of the things that he wanted to do was like I want to win at least 1 match, and then after that I want to be on the podium. That was something that he wanted to accomplish. Yeah, absolutely. And he got it, and he got there, and so we're really, truly excited for him and the future of our program. So.
Well, let's pass the mic over to Rocky and talk about this. So you've seen what it takes now to get on the podium. Talk about that process and just how hard it is to get where you were this past weekend.
Oh, well, Last year, like, I was just a freshman, so then the competition, like, I was 0-2 and I lost. And I was like, but I don't know. I feel like the competition at state is just so much. Just the competition there's a lot better than most of the tournaments we go to because it's the best in the state. So, I mean, it took a lot of hard work and stuff to get there, and I had to. Some of my matches were like really close, and I don't know.
Did you prepare any differently for the state tournament weekend as you would compared to a regular season match? Was there anything you did different for the state tournament?
I mean, I rested up a little bit more than I usually would to just get my body in the best shape for this upcoming weekend. So,
do y'all have like any kind of pre-game routine or a pre-match routine as far as a song you listen to, or do you have one of those set routines that you try to follow the day before or the day of the match that you do? You would either
See,
one?
I'd be meditating, like we talked about last week.
You meditate. You're into this meditating
I
thing
know
right
it,
now.
but listen, for them to have the not just the strength, but the flexibility and the focus and the determination, the focus, I think that's where I would struggle.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have anything like that as far as your routine goes?
No, I just kind of just go out there and wrestle my best and see what I can do against my competition.
He's like, I don't need to meditate.
Amelia, do you have anything? Do you have any kind of routine as far as setting out? No, you're good. Okay, well there you go. Hey, you got.
That's
they just show up and wrestle. Well, that's a big.
They've already got it. They've already got it figured out.
I think they're just so focused on the match. They don't have to. They don't have. They want to just. We're here. We're going to wrestle. We're going to do our thing, and not worried about social media or anything.
For most parts, they try to figure out who they got to wrestle next, and then if they've seen them already, and then they go from I know what this guy can do, and I know what I've got to do type of thing. So, I mean, they're pretty good at figuring all that out and working hard prior to, but they all got their different things on their own that they do and don't change from that. So, I mean, it's pretty cool to watch.
So what is the next step for these wrestlers and for your program? What is the next step going into next year?
Other than getting numbers, I mean, we can always use more kids in the room, and that would make us a lot better as a team as a whole. But just to work harder. I mean, every year you try to figure out what works and what don't, bring new things into the room and figure out if that betters them. So that's what we got to figure out as coaches. So, I mean, you got to throw certain things out and find out what works and what don't and to make the kids better. So, I mean, it's pushing them as hard as they could possibly get pushed and be okay with getting them a hug and telling them that they did a great job, and yet they're going back the next day and wearing them out again.
Well, do you think the success of what you had this year can help get those numbers out?
That's what I was sitting here thinking.
That would be awesome. That would be great. But, it's one of those sports where if you like it, you don't.
Yeah.
If you do, you do. I mean, you're in or out. I mean, it's one of those things.
I'm a germaphobe. I don't know if I could do it.
Well, a lot of people,
I don't want to touch sweaty people.
This is different than what you see on TV. The
I know.
And I think some people might get that confused whenever I'm coming out and I'm ready to sign up for my wrestling outfit and the boots and my theme music and all that stuff.
We won't throw chairs at you. Only after the second week of practice. So, I mean, it's nothing like that. They got the MMA fighter short type deals and stuff like that. But, it's kind of funny to actually talk to people that actually think that's actually how it is.
Yeah.
Well, because that's what they see on TV. They don't see a lot of this on TV.
That's more of an. They don't see that. They see that as wrestling and not entertainment. It is entertainment wrestling.
Right. It's not sports entertainment.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is athleticism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations on an awesome year and good luck this summer. We'd love to have you all on before the season next year to kind of talk about how this season was and a preview of next year as you all get ready for the next season.
Absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right.
All right, quick question, though. Where do you guys practice?
In
the gym?
In the cafeteria.
In the cafeteria. Because I know you guys used to be up top, but
then they moved us with basketball, got more things going on. So they moved us to the cafeteria. And we don't work there at the school, so after the school's out and everything, normally about 5 o'clock is when we get in there. There's nobody around, so that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years. So, and it seems to work for everybody.
They got a routine that way.
Yeah.
That's the Madison Southern Wrestling team. A successful year. You can check out their Facebook page, Mad South Wrestling, I believe is the Facebook page, and get more information on them. And listen, if you have a student or that's going to Southern or will be going to Madison Southern, tell them to reach out to Coach, get these numbers up for the wrestling team next year.
Madison County has a great youth program,
so
hopefully
really
it will continue to rise.
Yep, you're right.
We will take one more commercial break. When we come back, the Estill County football team is also here. We'll talk to them when we come back. We are live at Jack Burford Chevrolet, served up by Buffalo Wild Wings. This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too. Remember, everyone's important, so buckle up to and from the ball game. Come on, let's go.
So you guys have shown us a lot of love on Facebook and, of course, our website at WBONTV.com. So we're going to let you in on a little secret, our YouTube channel. It's where all the local stories are posted first for news, and you can even catch the live stream of any of your local high school sports on there as well. Be sure to subscribe, as well as clicking on the little bell for notifications. For when we post a video go live, you'll be the first to know. And don't be afraid to share and like a video. It really helps us out here at the studio to bring you the best in local news. And of course on Facebook, hit the See First button so we come up first when you're scrolling through your timeline.
Back at Jack Burford Chevrolet on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, served up by Buffalo Wild Wings Samantha Burford. We have got the Estill County football guys in the house with us. And Coach Markham, your first year at Estill County High School, pretty successful season for you guys, and you've got three guys that you're relied upon heavily this year. You're going to have to replace going into next season.
Yeah, we had a great year. We had a great finish, and we definitely got three guys here that we're going to have to replace, and definitely will be hard to replace. They're got three, well, I guess tight ends. You can include them as offensive linemen, but that are definitely going to be definitely hard to replace, and we'll definitely miss them.
Talk about how your first season went. I mean, I'm sure you guys set goals before the season, but were you happy with how things went? And there was, I think, 4 games where you all were with one score possession. So it seemed like the season, you were right there, a young team, just trying to still figure things out. So how did the season go for you, and how do you think it went?
Yeah, obviously, we set goals at the beginning of the year. I had these guys setting goals at the beginning of the year as well, and what they thought as the team should be able to accomplish and be able to do in their eyes. And obviously we get, winning season, district championship, and obviously state championship. That's everybody's goal anyway. But we were pleased. We wish we could have those 3 games back that we were, within a possession every single time. 8-3 looks a lot better than 5-6. Yeah. And, in our mind, we see that, and we know that, and we understand that, we are 3 possessions away from that happening, and that's kind of our focus going into the next year. Though, is just to finish. I mean, it's one of those things where if we finish at the end of the game or finish a specific drive or whatever the case is, that record is different. Obviously, you don't measure your success on your record. You measure it on your growth and what you've been able to do and what you've been able to succeed and accomplish throughout the year on certain things. So
let's start with Micah, and guys, we'll just go down the line and talk about where you're going to be going to school at, and then we'll kind of go through and talk about that process. But first, just tell where you're going to be going to school.
I will be attending the University of Cumberland in Williamsburg.
Okay, Dylan, get the EKU hat on. So.
Oh yeah, EKU here in Richmond, Kentucky.
Okay, and Caleb, we'll pass the mic over to you.
I'm going to Defiance College in Ohio.
Okay, so you're going to be a teammate of Baylor Willis. So, Caleb, we'll start with you. So talk about your recruiting process and how you ended up signing with Defiance.
It's been since sophomore years whenever I started really getting college looks because, my height, my weight and stuff like that. Obvious reason, see something out of me. So, and then it really got serious towards the end of my junior year because, coming out of Central 6A team that just won region and talking to coaches on Twitter, sending them my film, and then really helped me this year, starting all 11 games and getting a lot stronger over the summer, pushing myself to limits that I never thought I would ever be able to do, and that's what led me to what I'm doing today. And I don't, getting out of Kentucky is something, I've always wanted to do for a little bit.
So whenever you were looking at different schools, was Defiance, what did they offer you that kind of piqued your interest in wanting to go there?
Defiance, the coaches there, they're really hands-on with the players. They talk to you a lot and then there's the admissions people. They talk to you a lot, and the players there, they love to conversate with you. I got a call from one the other day talking about football, and
Okay.
it's a really nice school for being D3. It's a really nice campus. They have like the best track and field indoor facility.
Oh, wow, okay.
In that area, and they hold like the big stuff there.
Well, Coach, talk about your relationship with Caleb. Obviously, you guys kind of been down that road before. So talk about your relationship with him and what you've seen from him going into Defiance now.
Sure. We met when he was at Central, and I was at Central at the same time, and got to know Caleb there through coaching him in JV games and being around him in practice and things like that. So that was the first time we really met, and he's a high character guy. Like when the kids would leave the weight room, even at Central and at Estill, he was always the last one to leave, and it wasn't because he was just being lazy. He was staying and cleaning up. Like he was picking up other people's messes and just like. If something needed to be, vacuumed or whatever, he was the first one to do it. Coach, I'll do it. I'll do this or I'll do that, or something had to be thrown away, he was going to do it.
That's impressive.
And that speaks so much, big volume about Caleb and who he is as a person. And that just carry over to what he does on the field, in season and off season. He works every day. He had a goal. He knew what he wanted to do. And he was able to accomplish it. So we were happy that he decided to come home for his senior year at Estill, and he was a huge get for us. So.
Well, Dylan, you're going to be going to EKU, and obviously Coach Wells coming in, Coach Elder going out. Talk about how that process went and your communication with Coach Wells and the coaching staff there at Eastern.
When Coach Wells came in, I was actually kind of surprised because the communication level between me and the coaching staff stepped up a lot, and I was kind of surprised about how much they were interested in talking to me because I just had that preferred walk-on offer, and I was really surprised because they seemed really interested and made me feel like a part of the family, even though I wasn't getting that scholarship, and that just really piqued my interest and feeling just being a part of the family. It really piqued my interest, and because I was looking around at still weighing my options. And then Coach Losey, the O-line coach, actually called me while I was at work, and we just talked for 15 minutes. And from there, he started talking to me about every day. And Coach Morrison came to the school while I was working out. Him and Coach Markham came, and they talked to me down in the weight room. And I knew then that that's where I wanted to go, and I thought it was a great decision.
Well, being close to home like that, being here in Richmond, did that kind of weigh on your options as well as far, mom and dad 20 minutes down the road, come watch and –
Yeah, I have a lot of people in my family that want to see me play, and a lot of people on the football team who want to come see me play. And I figured that was a big part of it because I want them to be able to come watch me play one day when I get on the field.
Well, Coach,
you're good.
Coach, you had a very similar situation. So tell us about that and how that inspired maybe you helping him make this decision.
Yeah. So, from day one, especially with my seniors, I sat down and talked to all of them about, their goals and what they wanted to be able to do after school. And Dylan expressed interest, and wanted to continue to play football. And so we started talking about his options and things that, he could do or wanted to do. And of course, I always share my story with him and how I come to some decisions. I had different offers from other schools as well, but Eastern just seemed like it kept calling me. And I got offered a preferred walk-on there as well my senior year, and I was like, this is where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere else. This is where I want to be. Came to some of the camps during the summer and obviously showed up on visits and stuff, and I was like, this is it. I don't care that, I get a preferred walk-on. It's not the D1 scholarship. I didn't care because this felt like home, and obviously that's what drew me back to come back to Richmond in the first place. But so, me and him had that discussion early on and said, listen, that's an option. If you so happen to get that offer, it's a great thing. Just gives you another opportunity to prove yourself again to other people that you should be here. And that was my mindset going into it as well. So, we talked about it a lot and talked about how hard it's going to be, and he knows that and he understands that. And like I said, replacing a guy here that's a fighter, and he never gives up, and he's one of the hardest working guys I've been around. So he'll be fine.
Talk about did you have a relationship with Coach Wells from your previous time there, or had he kind of left before he came back?
Yeah, Coach Wells had already. I think he had already gone. I think he was gone a few years before I even got there. But Coach Johnson, who's there now, was at GA when I was there. So I had that relationship with him. I reached out to him when he left Murray State and came back to Eastern. I reached out to him and was talking to him a little bit and kind of just finding out with Dylan if with new coaching staff, is his still preferred walk on good, or just kind of reevaluate him, kind of get a sense of how things are going. So I'm glad that the staff that EKU's got built is built on a lot of the guys that's got some ties back to Richmond and EKU. So it's good.
We'll talk to Micah now. And Micah, so you're going to be going to the University of the Cumberlands.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that process. And I know you were kind of injured for a little bit of your senior season. Did that kind of affect where you ended up going? Or
he knew early.
Yeah, I knew early.
He knew early when he wanted to go.
Yeah, I actually went to a summer camp down there.
Okay.
And they actually offered me just a scholarship right on the spot during the camp. Coach Reimer came up to me, and he's like, "We're offering you." I was running routes, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Cool.
I would not be able to focus the rest of the camp.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. It was like, wow, this actually happened. And then the rest of the camp went on, and went around campus, and it's a beautiful campus. They got really good academics, and they have a really good football team. They're ranked. They ended up being ranked like 7th in the NAIA.
I think it's flooded right now.
Yes, it is flooded right now. It's about 34 feet underwater. Yeah. So
your dad was on the coaching staff. Talk about that, and now you're going to be playing at the University of Cumberland's. Dad won't be there, so how different will that be not having him there all the time? I'm sure he'll be at all the games.
Oh, he'll be there.
Yeah, he'll be there. Yeah. I know he'll definitely want to watch with me and do some of the stuff, but where I've been around him so much, I basically kind of know what
he knows
thinks.
What he thinks, and
like when we watch film together, we just point out the same stuff, so it'd be kind of easy to translate it over.
Well, playing the tight end position, how excited were you when the coaching staff changed and you knew there was going to be a little bit more passing this year than there had been in years past?
I mean, down deep in my heart, I'm a run blocker. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's cool to catch passes, but I love blocking. That's
like getting in there, the dirty stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I love. But catching the ball is pretty fun.
So I just seen on Facebook and Twitter the proposal that you did with Mia. So talk about that before we go to Coach to talk about you.
Yeah.
She said yes, right?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I won't get you in trouble.
She said yeah. The creativity was a little bit all right.
Okay.
She likes her
got
little
like a 7 on the
voice.
creativity part out of 10.
More like 7.5.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Coach. So Mike, when you came in and we took over the position. We saw you had so much size and beef up front, and you got this guy playing tight end for you who likes to run block. What was your conversation with Micah going into his senior season?
So, obviously coming into a situation where, they were primarily run, that's what they were good at. That's what they knew, and that's what he knew. And we knew that the development part of becoming a tight end in our system was going to take a little bit of time for him to do, which he's athletic as is, and so that wasn't a hard transition. Obviously, learning the offense and getting the ball in his hands, more was a process. And obviously, you're never going to be able to step into a new offensive system and be great at it. But Micah picked it up really well. We had him floating between tight end and H-back, and he knew it all, and he had to. And it was important for us to be able to get to use him and utilize him and his strengths and what he could do. Him going down with his injury in the middle of the year, kind of put a dampener on things for him. I know it was a little bit of a struggle to, not that he didn't stay involved, but it was just disappointing because it's a senior year and it's brand new offense, and he wanted to really showcase what he could do and being there for his brothers that he's been with for years. And but just working with him and his dad. His dad was one of the first people I got to meet as far as like outside of the administration, the people that hired me, things like that. That was one of the first people I came to was his dad to kind of talk to him about, hey, are you going to stay on coaching with us? How's your kid? I know your kid's a senior and all this kind of stuff. So, Micah's going to do good things at Cumberland's. He fits in perfect with what they do, and not having him around is going to be tough because he just brings a leadership ability to get people to do things, and that's hard to replace. It's hard to replace with those three guys. Period. They all brought that leadership ability in their own way. So,
talk about you guys trying to build something there in Estill County, and you and Coach Boone and the coaching staff. As far as your first year went, talk about what you guys are wanting to do next year and years after to kind of get this program where you want it to be and where people take Estill County football seriously.
And for me, add in the schedule because I remember talking to you.
Yeah,
you
had 3
home
games this year or something, or they were all pushed together. I mean,
and the first game was. But the bye week, right?
Yes.
The bye week first. So I think you were able to redo the schedule and get it your own schedule this season, right?
Well,
so add that with his question.
Right. Well, not this season.
Okay.
It's got to follow the 2-year.
Okay.
The
so
2-year
contract. You got a whole another year.
The next year I've been kind of tooling with that a little bit and figuring out how to make that the way we want it. But getting back to your question, I had to think for a second.
I got him.
Yeah, you got me all somewhere else. But development. I mean, that's the biggest thing right now is just developing the talent that we got, developing the skill that we got and the linemen that we got. Because obviously we're losing a lot of big guys, so we have to utilize with what we have coming back. We've got a good mixture of linemen coming back. We got a couple of bigger kids. We got some smaller kids, quicker kids. So just developing them to get them stronger, to work on their skills, and to get them where we want them to be ready. As far as the skill positions at receiver and running back and quarterback, I think we're really good right now. Like we've got a great core that we worked with last year, and that we've continued to kind of develop over the offseason already. So the summer is going to be really good for us. I think that's going to help us to get us ready for when actual preseason starts. Just doing after school workouts and things like that while we can. Just developing the receiver's ability to catch. I mean, like you said already. An offense where you're actually catching the ball. And there's.
Does Coach Boone show his highlight reel a lot? Does he get to go there and show it off? I know he does. I think he's got his highlight reel as his background on his phone, probably.
God, watch this.
Coach Boone does.
That's you're probably right. I don't know if it's very good or not.
Yeah, well, they're going to a whole lot of catches maybe back in the day. But I didn't say that.
That's some smack.
That's what editing is for. Maybe get some different angles on the same catch, make you look a little bit better.
Or he's got a guy that had some similar number, and it looked like him.
There you go. Same color. So. Yeah, okay. I don't see how Coach Boone
same
works.
Color jersey.
Listen, I was talking to. He was at the Estill County Central girls basketball game a couple of weeks ago, and he was separated with Coach Centers. Got a chance to kind of conversate with him a little bit and catch up with Coach Boone. I love talking to that guy whenever you guys were at Central. I kind of built a relationship with him. But before we let you guys go, you got any? I know Coach Markham's first year as a head coach. You got any funny stories or anything that happened this year that you can share? And
gotta be.
You can't. He can't make you run or anything, or maybe he can still. I don't know.
I can because all three of them are doing track. So.
Okay. Well, there you go then. So don't get yourself in trouble. But have you got any funny stories you can tell on him?
We were playing a close Letcher Central football game, and
on the road, right?
No,
that was at home.
That was the first home game.
We scored a touchdown, and he was really happy about it because we just retook the lead. We just tied the game, and we were going for a 2-point conversion. We got in our muddle huddle thing, and we get in, and I can't remember what play we ran, but we were in red, and where he pitches it, and we just like make a wall and get into the end zone. And we did that, and then we got in, and he like ran onto the field all the way to numbers with his hands up, and he was like just thanking God that we got in. And we went back and watched it on film. We laughed about it, and we still laugh about it when we go back and watch it. And it's really funny.
Caleb, you got one too? All right, let's get Caleb over. He's got one.
We were playing Lynn Camp. This is the first half. First half. We didn't do too well in the first half.
Okay.
It's 27-14 defense. I don't think got to stop on 3rd and short or 4th and short or something. And you just see Coach Markham take off his headset and just chuck it towards the creek. And I think you just see Coach Boone just start giggling, even though you shouldn't be giggling. It was just great.
It's one of those moments, and you and Coach Boone are buddies. So he can laugh at you a little bit. Yeah. But now there's been a lot of times this year or in years past where you ain't got to throw it very far to get it in the water at Estill County because it's on the field. Yeah. Was it the Breathitt County game last year? Yeah, I mean it was like
it rained every
It was
Friday.
insane because I was there and I had my loafers on. I having to walk up there to interview Coach Jones, and I'm like, I'm not getting my shoes muddy.
No.
And I know how you are with your shoes and your outfits. I mean, I can imagine. But as far as the field goes, is there anything we could do for that? I mean,
of course, this year it was good throughout all year, until the Bell County game. It was a little rainy, got a little muddy.
Was that planned? Used the alma mater? Was that planned a little bit?
No comment.
Try to slow them down.
And then what was the Bethlehem game after it? Over on our sideline, it just puddled up like something crazy, and so we got the dirt from the baseball field and threw it down, and it just soaked it up, and it fixed it for the game. Obviously, over the summer, there's some things that need to be done, which
press box.
Bigger press box. Danny and Weaver, listen.
Remember, we're not allowed to
tilting?
go. It's tilting in the back.
Yeah.
You can't step in the back there.
Danny and Weaver divas, though. They're kind of hard to cope with.
Well, there's some plans down the road for some big things to happen. Okay. So it's hard to say that you can do some things to fix some things when eventually with things coming down the road, like that's going to be a big change to the county. It's kind of hard to ask to get some of those things done when you know something's going to be done later. If you know what I mean,
right.
It's hard to get a temporary fix when there's a major fix going to happen.
Oh,
so
that's a secret. I think
listen, we can't break the announcement yet, Smith. But hopefully, whenever it does come, we'll be the first ones to know.
Okay, I got a question. So this was really, as a head football coach, your first time doing letter of intent signing with the three gentlemen here. Were you nervous? I mean, I thought you did a great job.
I was nervous. Yeah.
Were you guys nervous?
They were definitely
talking.
nervous. Yeah. And I told them beforehand, I was like, you guys have got to say something. Afterwards, like, no. Michael was dead set.
Michael was like, what they said.
He was like, no.
Mike is like, what they said.
Well, I went there the following day for 2 days later for the Kaylee Riddle signing.
Right, softball.
And Ruth Hughes was doing, she was like the PA or whatever, the announcer
like
for
what
that.
Coach Markham
and she's
did.
like, I don't talk as much as Jordan does, or as Coach Markham does. And then
He did great.
Kaylee wouldn't say anything. She was like, I'm not talking, so.
It was full. And that shows the respect that your coaches and your, I guess, all your friends and your peers and your other football players have for you guys. I think they're all as excited as we are for you all, so.
Yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking that a bunch of classes that came in because, teachers wanted to come see these guys. And so they brought their classes down to come and watch. And I was kind of like, what is going on? Like, it's not supposed to be this many people, which I'm okay with it. I like to talk, and you guys know that. But it doesn't really bother me. But it was good, too, because it did just kind of accentuate the fact that these guys are doing something that not many people have done before.
That's right.
They are going out of their comfort zone and doing something that not many people will do, especially, Caleb going out of state to go to college and,
I can't name
and
any
do something. So
football players that I know that have come from Estill. I mean, I know Cade played kicker at, I think, K-State.
K-State.
That's really the only one that I can think of.
And 3 in 1 year.
What?
Trevor's at UPike.
Yeah, Trevor's at UPike. I think he was at Moorhead for a year. So,
so there's been a few. Just for 3 in 1 class is great, and and it's for the county. It's big. It's a big thing.
Exactly.
It is big.
It's huge, and so we hope that can kind of continues, throughout my stint here, and see what happens, and hopefully, as we continue to go through, it's 2 or 3 every year, And the hope
Make it a common thing.
I hope it's never a year where there's not one that goes.
Yeah.
I really hope that someone
goal.
can sign every year. So.
Well, good, Coach. Great year for you guys.
Yes.
I know you guys are still getting into it. The guys lifting weights and everything, and then basketball tournaments. So you guys will be over there supporting the Engineers next week as they try to bring home another 56th District Championship. For all of us here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, she is Samantha Burford, our producer on the TV side, Austin Hanks, Jaden Johnson back on the radio side. I am Michael Watkins. Special thanks to the Madison Southern football team for coming on, the Estill County football team, and the Mad South wrestling team as well. It's been a fun show tonight. We appreciate all you all for coming on. Well, we're actually 10 minutes overtime, Samantha.
I know it.
So.
I love it.
Yeah, well, apprate you guys hanging out with us. You going to beat-ups afterward? You going to get
We
some?
are definitely going to go get some.
I think Caleb said he's got the bill on you, so he'll take care of the bill.
That's
tonight.
great.
Well, y'all have a great evening, folks. Thank you all for hanging out with us on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too.